I'm really looking forward to this one because, as you know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, I am a massive G-Shock fan. So the other day I was kind of minding my own business and I got a message on WhatsApp from Russell, the Mad Watch Collector, who makes some of the best Casio related content on YouTube, and it was just a simple picture of this watch and he's put game changer, and I replied straight back asking him whether this was the 5000U that he was showing me, the one that most G-Shock fans accept as the best square G-Shock or the best most affordable square G-Shock, and he just replied back with the model number and said, no, this is a new G-Shock with an MIP display. If anybody's wondering about Russell, behind the scenes, he is just as nice as he comes across on YouTube. That isn't an act, he is that genuinely nice of a guy. As soon as I saw it, I put in my order on the Discovery Japan website because this is a JDM one yet. I don't think there's a whole lot of information about when this will come to the US. And then it just arrived yesterday. I paid about $233 for this, taking into account the yen conversion. But I was hit from DHL with a whopping $80 of import duties. So this watch is getting very close to the price of the 5000U for me. But I still think I got a really good deal because this to me is probably the ultimate square G-Shock that has ever been made. The last couple of squares that I've reviewed recently, that 40th anniversary, and I was kind of like, you know, not too bothered about it. The one with the crystallized metal on the back, and then the recent anniversary one, I wasn't overly fussed about them. I wasn't crazy about the way that the LCD screens were a little bit faded in certain lighting conditions, but wow, this screen on here is absolutely amazing. We have seen an MIP display G-Shock on the channel before when I reviewed one of the smart fitness G-Shocks, but I suppose technically that was an oversized square. It was more on the fitness line than it was akin to the classic shape of the square, I would say, even though it was a cool watch. But you also had to charge that one with the included charger, whereas this one amazingly has tough solar on it. So to just go over some of the specs and why this watch is so amazing, not only does it have that MIP display, so it has this memory in pixel display, which means that it's visible from not only from all angles but in most lighting conditions, and it's individual pixels, so the graphics and the font can get very precise. You can get a lot of detail onto the screen. It's almost like a dot matrix display instead of a traditional LCD watch. Not only does it have the MIP display, it also has Bluetooth, multiband 6, which I guess you could argue Bluetooth does exactly the same as setting the watch time accurately. Now looking at the watch, it is that classic square shape, so it's 48 from lug to lug, 44mm case, 12.3mm thickness. The watch also has a 200m water resistance, which will cover you for more or less anything. This comes in a resin, which again is that biomass resin, the bio-based resin. We've discussed it on the channel before. It's not a biodegradable material. It's made from bio-sustainable crops like corn seed and castor oils, and then they turn it into a plastic, so the watch won't break down on your wrist. It's just made from sustainable crops. Their argument is this is better for the environment. One of the good things though is it doesn't come in one of their recyclable boxes. This comes in a very cool, it is cardboard, but a very cool box with a little bit of fabric on the inside and then a nice watch pillow. So it doesn't come in one of the cardboard boxes with the cardboard watch roll in a little bag. This comes in a proper box. The functions are of no surprise really. We have the main time, world time with 2 time zones, the stopwatch, a countdown timer, and the alarm that has several alarms including a snooze alarm. So as those standard G-Shock features. One of the interesting things about the stopwatch is I think to perhaps save energy, or maybe this is a limitation of the MIP display, or maybe I've just not worked out how to use it yet, is the 10th of a second countdown. It doesn't display. It only displays when you stop the watch, so you can't see it like on the normal LCD one where you can see the numbers going really fast. I've never seen that before on a G-Shock, but it must be obviously it must be something to do with the way that this display is. But the display itself has a lot of rich detail on it. On the main time-telling screen, you can toggle between seeing the full name of the day and the year alongside the date. And on the main display as well, you can press another button and you can see those 2 different time zones. And then on the stopwatch and the countdown timer settings, you also can see the current time as well. So it just looks awesome. It's so visually pleasing. It looks very flat. You can't see any ghosting that you can sometimes see on LCD screens where you can see the outer of where the numbers are. This is is a very clean display, almost like an e-ink display, and it looks just absolutely spectacular. This does link to the Casio Bluetooth app, and that does give you some interesting features. So you can set the time, you can have the world time on there. You can also choose to extend how you want the backlight to show, how many seconds you want the backlight to show. And also, interestingly, you can change the display. So the display as default on the MIP display has the classic Casio look to it. So it has those classic digits, but you can change it to be more of the font that's similar to the fitness G-Shock that we saw a year or two ago. So I think that's quite interesting. But one of the things that they haven't done, which I'm surprised at, is they haven't given an option to turn the display negative or positive. It doesn't seem like that would be a whole lot of effort for them to program that in, so maybe that's something that will come later down the line. The app is easy to use. It's very easy to sync the watch. This one won't maintain a consistent connection to your phone. It stays connected for 3 minutes, but it will time sync with the phone at a certain time as well, so you don't really need to use that multiband 6 on there. On the wrist, of course, it's beautifully light, as with most G-Shocks. They're very wearable. The square for me is almost the perfect G-Shock. I think this is the best upgrade this watch has had for a very, very long time. So if you like the idea of the Move, the fitness G-Shocks, but you didn't want the heart rate sensors and all of those type of stuff in there, then this is perfect for you. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to be coming to the US, but I would keep an eye out on Casio's website because I'm sure they will do. I'm sure they won't just keep this as a JDM model. There's only one real negative and then one improvement. It just has the standard pressed steel case back, but if it had one of those screw case backs, that would have been really cool. I know those ones are typically made in Japan, whereas this one is one of the Thailand made ones. And then the only real negative is the backlight. The backlight works and you can see it in the dark, but it isn't as vibrant as we've seen on some of the other G-Shocks. I'm not sure if that's a limitation of the MIP display, or perhaps mine has been stored in a box for a while, so maybe it needs to charge a little bit more on the solar for it to come to life. Maybe it's just this one. I know a lot of you that are subscribed to the channel are also huge G-Shock fans, so I'm really, really interested to know what you think about this in the comments section down below. I've got to say a big thanks to Russell for highlighting this watch to me. I also noticed that Jody at Just One More Watch had also reviewed this, so both of their links to their reviews are in the description down below. Definitely check them out. Appreciate you watching. If you're new to the channel, love it if you subscribed, and I'll see you next time on Casual Watch Reviews. Thanks guys, bye.